comment that was made on Facebook the other day about being a submissive woman. They were saying that a submissive woman controls her man, and I agree with that. I think until we begin to talk in honesty and transparency and stop pandering to both sides, especially to the sisters, because there is so much entitlement, and because men have been quiet for so long, and it's been the men that has been quiet were the type of men that y'all really need to be listening to. The men that doing the most talking ain't the ones, they don't have nothing to say anyway.
What's good? It's your boy Quay Price, man, holding it down for Candid Convos. Definitely check us out every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. People today, they lazy. Ain't nobody trying to put in no work. If stuff start getting a little rough in the relationship or in the marriage, ain't nobody trying to fix nothing. Like, I mean, that's how people's mindsets are today. Yeah, but that's how I know that folks don't truly understand what marriage was about, because they tap out way too easy. Yeah, you see people fight harder for a job, like they can't go get another one of them in 2 weeks. Yeah, she's talking about these guys coming to these foreign countries and sourcing out these foreign women because they possess these character traits. Yep, they're more cooperative when it comes to a man, or they're more cooperative when it comes to a marriage and a relationship. They're more, nurturing forward when it comes to a relationship. They're more, I don't even want to use the word soft, but I'll use the word soft. They're softer when it comes to, these relationships and interactions with men and so forth. And like I said, we definitely got to be honest. We see a difference, right? We see a difference. And I think, Chloe and Tay made some good points earlier. A lot of this stuff is based around money over here in the West. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Candid Convos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Coco on deck. We got Vince on deck. Say what's up to the people, y'all.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
Man, welcome back. Appreciate y'all hopping on with us tonight again, every Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Man, shout out to y'all, man. Do me a favor if you haven't already, smash that like button. Likes are free. Smash that like button. Yeah, I'm starting to notice, man, a lot of folks don't like to hit that like button. Yeah, they'll sit there, they'll enjoy these great conversations, they'll drop these comments, but they will not hit that like button. So do me a favor, man, smash that like button. Like I said, it helps us get seen, it helps us get exposure out here. So, man, smash that like button for us, if you will. Also, hit that share. If anybody who hasn't already, hit that subscribe. Let's say we trying to build our subscriber base. So yeah, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. All right, let's do this real quick as we get into this conversation. Here's the link to join us on the panel. You can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge. If you're coming through an Apple device, so be it. Man, join us on the panel, man. Get in on this great conversation. We have the link here in the video feed in addition to the chat feeds. So you can catch it at the Candid Combos page on YouTube or Facebook as well. But I'll lay this link up here as we get into tonight's conversation. Let me see who we got checking in. Let's see. Shout out to my guy Donovan. He said, "What up, though? What's going on, Donovan? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you." All right. Let's see. Make sure everything good. Okay. Yeah, once again, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Yeah, before you even get comfortable, before you even pull your popcorn out, man, smash that like button.
Easiest way to support the show.
Yeah, man. It's a freebie at that, man. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. All right. So we ain't gonna hold it too long. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're gonna go and get to it then. We're gonna go and get to it. Oh. Just heard somebody pop up. Who was that? Oh, that must be JR now. That's the bodyguard. That's the bodyguard hopping on. JR. Is that you, man? What's good, man? All right. Let's see. So we're going to go and get to it and drop this topic, get into this conversation. So topic for the night. I'll drop this link for a minute. Topic for tonight. Black people just don't get it. Man, y'all been coming heavy with these titles lately, man. Topic for the night. Once again, black people just don't get it.
Hello, Vince. You look nice.
What's going on, man? You all right over there, man?
Thank you. I said, I was gonna put on show you. I said, no, let me put some clothes on. We trying to get some people. I gotta, spiff it up a little bit.
I ain't mad. I ain't mad at that, man. I ain't mad at that.
Thank you. Thank you, Chloe.
You're welcome.
All right, man. We're gonna go and get on into this, man. I see y'all. We got a couple came over, man. It's like 5 down here. All right, let me kick off the first one. See where this go.
Their opinion, being a man has to be one of the most difficult things in this world, because when I hear some of the requests that women have and how they can contradict themselves, I get confused. It's like, I don't need you to be too sensitive, but how dare you not share your feelings and your emotions with me? I need you to be a good leader, but understand that I won't be following you and I won't be listening to you, and you can't lead me anywhere. But be a good leader. Be strong and show a level of vulnerability, but not too much, because then strength and vulnerability cannot coexist together, because now I'm going to think that you're weak. I want you to be truthful and honest, but not too truthful to where you telling me the truth about me, and now I got to feel some type of way towards you, because you're supposed to be on my side at all points and times. Read my mind, but don't you dare assume that you know what I'm thinking. Meet my needs, even though I'm not going to tell you what my needs are all the time, but I expect for you to just know somehow. Be financially stable, but make sure you have a whole bunch of time, even though it takes time to make money. Now, when you hear some of these requests out loud and you see how they contradict themselves, don't it sound silly? And wouldn't you be just as confused as he is?
Okay, sis came right out the gate, man. So tonight we talk black people just don't get it. Okay, well, let me check the comments real quick. Shout out to Kenyatta. She said, "Happy Wednesday." What's going on, Kenyatta? Appreciate you hopping on with us tonight, holding us down. See, Donovan said, let's see, double talking, scatterbrain, psycho babble 101. That's a lot on that. That's a lot on that comment right there, Donovan. Let's see, you want to get all that off your chest, man. All right, man. So y'all saw the video. Who was that, Cole down there? Okay, yeah. Y'all saw the video. So it's video number 1 for the night. So yeah, what y'all think? Is she spitting? Is she capping? Is she... I don't know. Let me get these comments and I'm coming to the panel. Kenyatta says she spoke a whole word. Yeah, no, she was getting it off. She got it off. She got it off. All right, I'm gonna come on back to the panel. Coco, Vince, Cole, Mr. Mrs. Coco's bodyguard down there, JR. Go ahead, Vince. I saw you come off, man.
Yeah, I think I sent that one to you.
For sure.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and she was talking about she was dating these two guys at the same time. And I was ear hustling, and the one lady, she was talking to a younger lady that was married, because I work out with a group of people. And the one lady told her, well, date both of them until you decide who's going to step up. And I was like, well, that's not really good advice. So
Nope.
she asked me, well, Vince, what do you think? I said, well, tell me a little bit more about him. So it was one guy, he was retired and he wasn't working. There was another guy, he worked a lot. She said, well, I want somebody who always has somewhere to go. I was like, well, what difference do it make if he has the income? Have you asked about his income? Well, I want somebody. I was like, she was very confusing because she wanted somebody who made a certain amount of money, but then the guy who made that type of money had a small child and he worked a lot. Then the guy who didn't work a lot, was something wrong with him. And then at the end of it, she said, oh, well, I'd just rather be single until I find somebody at 42. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, really? You really think at 42 you go get somebody? But she's the MP. I'm telling you, something about these. Kevin Samuels was right about these nurses because they make a lot of money in a short amount of time, I guess you could say, because they can work 312s and make 100,000. Right. So they want somebody on the butt, a man who makes that type of money. And then the funny thing about it is, my trainer is postmaster general. So I said, how many hours you work? He said 60. I said, see, they work a lot, 60 hours a week. So right. Yeah, I don't think they really hear themselves, when they try to explain, what they want. Doesn't make sense.
No. Yeah, no, I agree with that, man. And to your point, and then I'll come back to the panel. To your point, man, about the medical folks, man. I don't know. I always equated it to the money. Yeah, I was like, because the money is coming in, then you know what I'm saying, and that on that side of it, like you said, there's that nursing, that them scenes, like on that side, there's always this mentality that comes along with that money. Because to your point, they can, like you said, they can work the 312s, they can get the money quick, they can do the travel nurse and get it that way. But yeah, there's this mindset that comes with that. And I think that it's unrealistic, versus what those young ladies typically say that they're looking for. It's like it never matches up. So now I got to agree with you on that. All right, Coco, you want to say something real quick?
I was just going to say that it just goes back to the point that I don't really think that as women in general, I'm just speaking in general, obviously, I don't think we know what we want. I'd have to agree. I don't think that we know what we want. I think that unfortunately, what we want changes from mood to mood, from day to day. And I think it's so easy for us to be conditioned and influenced because we don't really know what we want. When someone is sure about what they want and they're confident in that, then it's not so easy for them to be swayed. I think it's just, you could just tell, like you could tell by the mood and the moments. They'll come out saying, just like she said, I want an emotionally intelligent man. Okay, well, an emotionally intelligent man is going to be able to properly articulate to you what he does and does not like. And the minute he does that, you cannot get in your feelings. If you do, then maybe you don't really want an emotionally intelligent man, but you're saying that because that's what everyone else is saying. That is the trending quality now. And it changes. So I don't really think that most women really actually know what they want. I don't think they've actually taken the time to sit down and think about it. And honestly, I don't think that a lot of women take the time to sit down and listen to men. I think that if you actually took the time to sit down and listen to men, you'd actually know what you want. You know what you want, and you would know what you don't want, based off of the characteristics of the man that you find attractive. Because some of these men that y'all find attractive, some of these men that make y'all tingle is not the man that you want. He's not the one. I'm sorry, he's not the man that you need. He's the man that you want, but he's not the one that you need, right? So you first need to understand that, because usually the man that you want versus the man that you need is the one that you need is polar opposite to the one that you want. So you need to get straight about what that actually is. I think that's a start.
Okay. Appreciate that right there. Cole, JR, y'all want to say anything? Y'all good right now?
Good right now.
Okay. JR, you good, man?
Yeah, I'm good for now.
All right, cool. All right, let me say this, because I said the young lady in the video, let's say she dropped some good ones. I don't think she was far off at all. Yeah, because I hear some of the same things that she's talking about or that she mentioned, and I said a lot of the stuff is very contradictory, right? And then I said a lot of it's just not realistic, because that seems to be something we've just lost sight of, as being realistic with what we are asking for, especially in comparison to what we are bringing. Yeah, so some of this stuff is wild, but yeah, I want to ask this question. I know we got some ladies on watching right now. If you haven't already, smash that like button for us. Smash that like button. Likes are free. Smash that like button. So I know we got some ladies watching right now, but I got a question. I got a question for the ladies, for any lady who is willing to be honest. Any lady willing to be honest. Just based on that video, the young lady in the video, my question to the ladies would be is, what are y'all gonna do when men give up? Just keeping it real. Like, what are y'all gonna do when men just give up and say, you know what? I done had enough of the back and forth. I done had enough of you asking for this today, then something different tomorrow, then something different the day after that. Like, what are y'all going to do when men just say, you know what, F it, I'm done with it, I'm good? Like, what is y'all plan B once that happens? Because that's kind of the direction we getting in, like, or kind of the direction we going in. It's just like, what are y'all going to do at that point? Yeah, but I'm not saying that women should be desperate for a man. I'm not saying that. But I think overall, if we all would sit down and be honest, I think everybody at some point wants to be with somebody. Yeah, nobody just wants to go out, want to live their life out by themselves if they had a choice. I don't believe that. But I'm like, we playing these games, we're doing these things or making these requests, knowing that some of this stuff is not even realistic. And it's like we just don't get it. Yep, eventually this stuff will eventually backfire. Yeah, because somebody's going to interpret some of these things like, hey, you playing with me, you wasting my time. So they just going to be on in a different direction. Yep, and I'm like, what is your backup plan? I guess I can even ask this to the men as well. What is your backup plan once the opposite sex say, you know what, I'm good, I done had enough, and they just tap out and go about their way? Yeah, what's the backup? Yeah, because going back to the video, let's say the young lady's talking about, the ladies saying that, they want this this leader, but then they really don't want to follow the lead. Yeah, we talk about these, saying these providers, but then we don't want to appreciate the providers. We want this man to be emotionally intelligent, but then like I said, we over here overly emotional. So it's like that ain't working along with what he, what you asking him to be. So it's like we gotta understand that at some point this stuff is going to backfire. Yeah, so man, somebody tell me something, man. What is the backup plan when this stuff goes south? So I don't know. Somebody got to tell me something. Any ladies who down to be honest? I see y'all done got quiet on me. Somebody tell me something. But you want to say something, Vince? Go ahead, man.
I'll jump in. I think for a certain caliber of man, there is no backup plan. We're going to find somebody. Because most men on a certain level, they want kids. And they want to raise their children. And the smart man wants to raise his children in the house with them. So for a certain caliber of man, we're going to find somebody.
Right.
I speak to a lot of women, and they seem to think that they'll be okay. They have their friend group, they have their girlfriends, they have some of them do have kids, so they have their kids, they have their grandkids, they have their girlfriends to go on trips with and lay on the beach and take pictures of each other, and they girl tripping and going out to eat. And I don't think men like the company of other men like that.
But I
don't. I don't like the company of other men like that.
To that point, though, I think a lot, and I feel you on that, Vince. But to that point that you just made about the ladies having a girlfriend group and all of that stuff, that's on the premise that girl is going to be single. Because see, typically what can happen is, okay, you may have your friend group of girls, but don't let one of your girls find their little dude. And all of a sudden, she pop up out of that thing, she disappear. So see, that's only on the premise that those women are single along with you.
But in my experience, most of them are. If you got a 10 girlfriend group and they over 35, the chances of maybe 4 of them getting married ain't likely. So if you got 10 of them, 8 stay single forever, 2 of them might get married. You still got 8.
Right, no, that's true. I get it.
And that's how they roll. They find these groups of single women. They dancing, wearing a little Beyonce cowboy hat.
Right.
They have, they girl tripping together, 30, 40 of them together. It's a lot of them, man.
Okay.
They got a dude on the side too.
Oh yeah, they got somebody to scratch it now. They definitely got somebody to scratch it.
Oh man!
Oh come on!
That's the question. That's the question. Can I ask this question? And does someone have an answer for me? And maybe I'm supposed to have the answer because I am a woman, but I don't. Like, why is it that most male groups, not all, we can't ever say all, right? But most male groups, especially after a certain age, they'll be married men. Like there might be 1 or 2 single men, right? But usually the single men will end up getting influenced by the married men, and he's going to get married. So then next thing you know, they're all married. That's the male group, right? But in a female group, right, most of the women are, if not all, single. And they, like Vince said, the majority of them usually stay single. Like, it's not like, there might be, like he said, 1 or 2 that are married, but they don't get influenced, or for some reason, it doesn't end up like being a situation where, okay, they follow behind the married women and they get married. That doesn't happen often. They usually stay single, except for maybe the 1 or 2, like he said, that will get married. Why is that? Does anybody have an answer for that? Why the man group gets married, or the single men in the group eventually they get married sooner rather than later, but the women tend to stay single?
Because men.
Wait, this first being JR. I want to hear JR too.
Okay, because most of the time men don't lie to each other.
Go on.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now go ahead, Mr. Vince. Go on.
Because most of the time men don't lie to each other. If they're your true friends, they gonna tell you, look, man, maybe you need to settle down, get out of this game. You had bad relationship after bad relationship, you got a couple baby mamas, maybe you need to go ahead and settle down. Men are not gonna lie to you. Women say, girl, that's okay. Do you? You'll be all right. Don't settle. That's a lot. These women will lie to women. They know that shit sound crazy, and they'll be like, "Yeah, girl." This girl knew that this girl was sounding crazy at 42, but you think she said anything like, "Girl, that don't make no sense." She was just like, "Well, do you, girl?"
Oh man. No, you're right about that, man. When it comes to them type of scenarios, the fellas will call that out. Like, bro, you need to go ahead and wrap that up, man. Settle that on down, man. It's about that time. Yeah, so we will have that conversation. So I will agree with that. Let me come back to JR. I know he was trying to say something. Go ahead, JR.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, Miss Coco said it herself. You know, women don't tend to follow. I think they do that quite, very well. They don't know how to follow, and I think men just understand, you know, following people's footsteps in a positive way. Because eventually people are gonna talk some sense into you, and you're gonna come to your senses. And especially like you said, if you align yourself, around good people, then yeah, all the negative thoughts that you probably had or whatever it is, they're slowly going to vanish because you've seen a positive outcome, like Mr. Vince said numerous times, that a valuable man will be able to find something good out there and be able to make it work. So I think, yeah, men eventually come to that realization. Don't know what age, but eventually they'll get there.
Okay. No, that's real right there. That's real. Yeah, no, I think it does. To your question, Coco, it does look different. Yeah, it does look different. And I think ultimately, a lot of men have an end goal in mind already. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to be married. They're trying to have a family. So I think for a lot of guys, it really causes them to kind of step their game up. You know what I'm saying? When they're around other fellas who look like they, you know what I'm saying, doing their thing, handling their business. Because sometimes what you'll see, you know what I'm saying, on the male side of it is one guy will get married. Then it's like it'll be dominoing after that. Like a year after that, it'd be another one. A year or two after that, it'd be another one. And it's like everybody is kind of, you know what I'm saying, shooting for the same goal. Now, I know that's not all guys, but, you know what I'm saying, typically, I said, when you see that happen, especially if you got a group, let's just say of more than, let's say, 4 guys that hang out, you know, close like that, you'll usually see that in sequence almost. Because I said the guys really are looking up to each other, watching what each other's doing, you know what I'm saying, and they trying to level up too. Now, like I said, from a female perspective, it may look different on the other side. Yeah, I know we say that ladies be out here competing with each other, you know what I'm saying, trying to show each other up. So it may look a little different when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's different on both sides. And I just think men look at that a little differently. Like I said, it actually will trigger them to want to level up and step their game up. You know what I'm saying? So they can be handling business just like the other cats around them. So that's just my perspective on that. Go ahead, Coco.
I was also wondering, I'm going to put, we can put Kenyatta's comment up because I've seen this too. Like it can go in reverse. So the women that are married in the group end up getting divorced and now they're back single, like the other single women in the group. And I just, like you were saying, like some men in the male groups, the other men tend to, kind of encourage them, motivate them, or inspire them to level up or to move forward in life and to make those types of decisions. Like, I think what could be happening, and I'm not sure about this because I'm not a single woman in one of those groups, but from what outside looking in, I wonder if it's a situation where the single women are making their lives look a certain way. They're coming off to the other women in a certain way. And this goes back to what I said. Women are being easily influenced by that because they don't truly know what's real, what they need versus what they want. And I'm wondering if I'm single, I can kind of go and come as I please. Oh, girl, we at the brunch. Where you at? Oh, well, I'm with my man today, or we made plans, or, oh, girl, you ain't gonna be able to make it to the brunch. It's like, I just think that I don't think that the single women are being honest about what being single after a certain point in life is like. Like when you're young, it's cool, right? Like whatever, you outside. But after a certain point in life, being single has its drawbacks. And I just don't know if women are being honest with their sister friends and with themselves, to be honest, about what it's really like being single after a certain point. Unless you're one of those people that are like, hey, I just want to be by myself. I don't want to be with nobody. I like being by myself. There are people in the world that are like that, men and women. Okay, cool. So I'm not talking about you. But for the women that know for a fact that if that man came along, they would be back inside within a heartbeat. For y'all, why are y'all not being honest with the other women about what singlehood is really like after a certain point? Why y'all not being honest? Why you not telling the truth? So then you got women out here that believe that they're missing something. Because you always outside, you're always at brunch, you're always on a trip, they have no idea what it really looks like though. But they believe they're missing something. So I don't know. I think that women, I don't think we're honest. I think you guys as men, y'all sit down and y'all have men talk and y'all talk. And I think as women, we're not doing that. We're not having those real conversations where we're being honest. I don't think that that's happening. And I think that's why it ends up like that.
Yeah, or the other side of that is that or part of that conversation could be happening, but it's negative. Because, if we're going to be honest, I said there's a lot of negative narrative being pushed right now. Yeah, I see so many posts and reels and stuff, with folks out here trying to make it like marriage is just horrible. If somebody gonna do this, this dude gonna be knocking you over there your head, this guy gonna be trying to control you, this guy's, he controlling and it's not him leading, it's him wanting to dictate what you do and then what you can spend and what you can. And it's just like, it's just a lot of narrative being pushed to make relationship and marriage such a horrible thing. Yeah, but now I said that mess is contagious for a lot of folks. If you weaken the mind and you don't know how to think for yourself, let's say, you'll be easily influenced by that. But then on the flip side, if you sit down, if you had access to somebody who was in a successful marriage, then they would tell you something different. And they'd be like, nah, that's not how it is. And no, that's not how that go. And ain't nobody controlling nobody and all of this. And, just because he paying all the bills, he ain't telling me I can't do this and I can't do. Like they give you the real. Yeah, but it's like folks ain't sitting down and had them conversations. They just absorbing some of this nonsense that's on social media and what these folks is pushing. And to your point, Coco, then it, saying people try to make outside look like that's the best thing ever. But, in reality, as you get older, you start to understand that that's not the best thing ever. You would take a night in with somebody you care about and somebody that care about you, and that'd be the best thing ever. So like I said, it's just a lot of narrative pushing out there as well. And then we got a lot of people that's easily influenced, so they absorb it. So yeah, we can't leave that piece out because that's definitely happening. All right, let me circle back to the panel. Anybody else want to say anything on this? I said I got a couple more queued up. So go ahead, B-Box.
I got one thing to say to add. I also think that some women stay single because they don't like what they attract. So they think they can get better than what they can. So they hold out for as long as they can until it's too late. So I see that a lot too. It's they just don't like their lane. So some of that happens too. Whereas guys are like, hey, this is my lane. I get with a bunch of guys like, hey, you need to get married. You need to suck it up and get what you can get. And I don't mean it in the bad way. I mean it as in this is what it is. Men are much more apt to tell the truth to each other. Whereas, like, I don't know if you have noticed this, but if you work with women, you'll see women come in and like, oh, girl, that dress looks good. Or in your mind, you're like, no, it don't. You look bad. Or like, oh, yeah, girl, I've been working out. I'm like, have you? I obviously you keep this in your head, right? So it's things like that, these like little micro things that you'll see from women where they'll say things to each other and like, that's just not true. I don't know what y'all talking about. I usually just keep it to myself. I'm not saying nothing. So It's just unfortunate, but that's my take on that.
I got you. No, you're not lying about that either, man. I think it's something else to that, but I'm gonna be quiet about that right now. Joe, you want to say something before we move on to this next one, man?
You know what they say in the Bible, the truth shall set you free. Um, Whenever I told the truth to fellas, it's you know, it's not like it's easy for them to accept it, but they're more prone to take that advice and run with it and improve on their lives. Myself, for example, 10 years ago, I had a friend, and probably one of the few men I can actually call a friend. This is so embarrassing. Um, I was very, very slim. Um, at 25 years old, and this guy, same height, 6'2", he's 6'2", but he was twice my size in muscle. He looked similar to D-Boxer, maybe a little bigger. But yet when we go out in public, you can see the differences. You see people, I see all the girls going to him, and I see all the girls avoiding me. And I kind of like, damn, I don't know if I can hang out with this dude. So one day I went, was at home. I got some Taco Bell. He got himself a big steak dinner. I got myself what he called rabbit food. He said, no wonder you so damn skinny. I was like, man, who you talking to like that? Like I was going to do something about it. I couldn't stand up to this guy. So I was like, man, I don't want to talk about it. So I went away for about a week. He went home laughing. I called him up. I said, look, man, I said, you was right. That shit sucked, but like, can you help me out here? Be my personal trainer. So fast forward 6 months later, I'm in good shape still to this day, 10 years later. And I just have the utmost respect for him and what he did for me. Whereas everyone else before him was sugarcoating everything. Oh, you look good, or you this and that. And in my head, I'm thinking I'm looking good. But I didn't know I didn't look good until he said, nah, man, that ain't the move. So I feel like a lot more men, we don't like the truth. It's not like we're going like, yeah, I like what I hear. It's just the difference is that we'll take it and we'll absorb it. And if we can take that, we can look ourselves in the mirror at that point and say, okay, there's got to be something here. Same thing when it comes to finances. Hey man, you've been working at McDonald's, 5 years too long. You got to do something about that. Now, I ain't trying to hear none of that. But that same person, they'll remember, it'll make them want to level up. Whereas a woman, if you tell her the truth, and I've noticed firsthand, doing the same thing to women that was done to me by male friends, they're not going to take it the same way. They'll take it, get hit hard by it, and do nothing with it. They'll ignore it, feel bad about it, which is why I suspect they lie to themselves. Oh, like B-Boxer said, you look great in that dress, or yeah, that makeup looks great. But it's like, wait, if your intention is to attract a man, it doesn't make sense for you to listen to a woman who's telling you something that we want the opposite of. That doesn't make any sense. Like we understand that women like a man who has a certain level of strength. But it doesn't. But imagine a man saying, "Yeah, man, you look great being skinny. Yeah, you look great being fat." That's exactly what women tend to do amongst themselves, and it's like they're sabotaging these women. I don't think it's intentional. I hope it's not. But it's like, yeah, we don't think that you look. So that's why they're single, because we'll see that fat girl with the hanging out with the skinny girl. Is she's rolling around thinking she's as hot as the skinny girl. But we know, but because she's been gassed up by the skinny girl, oh yeah, you just as fine as I am. Yeah, but how is she getting all that? So, but we know logically that doesn't make any sense. So we'll say, yeah, man, you got to level up. Yeah, you can't hang with me no more looking like that. So we will cut to the chase. We'll cut it with a knife, and the man he has to decide if he wants to do something about it. And typically, that's how we level up because we tell each other the truth, even if we don't like it. You tell a woman the truth, she's not gonna like it, and she's also not gonna do nothing about it.
Yeah. No, I get that. No, that's real right there. All right, I appreciate that, man. Let me get this comment, then we'll go to the next one. Let's see. Donovan says, let's see, I got a friend on FB. She goes live talking about how nice her life will be when she finds her husband, the power couple goals she has in her mind. The next minute she goes live again, cussing about men or cussing and fussing about men in her DMs. Now she's going off talking about how she don't need a man and she not dating men in her inbox. Make it make sense. Yeah. No, I done heard some stuff like that before, Donovan. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, let me leave that alone, man. Appreciate this comment right here. All right, let me go to number 2.
There was one guy that I dated who was so nice, so cute, took me on the best date, so fun. Like we had fun every single day. We had fun, but I did not feel emotionally connected. to him. Like I didn't feel, and it wasn't even that I wasn't attracted to him because he was an attractive guy, but there was just something lacking, and I was able to recognize it quickly. You know, I was able to recognize it quickly, and instead of being like, oh, but he's so nice, he's such a nice guy, he treats me so nice, he has money, you know, I don't have to worry about anything with him. This is what we do as women. We talk ourselves in to situations that we genuinely don't want to be in, because there's almost like a guilt that you feel when someone's nice to you and treats you great, but you don't feel connected with them, to them in a romantic way. Like as a friend, we could be friends all day, but I just wasn't feeling it. So I had to, I had to tell him, that that's how I felt, because I wanted to be honest, and I felt like, he kind of wanted to push things along, and it wasn't fair.
Oh, hold on, man. Hold on. Hold on. I got to catch her real quick.
There was one guy that I dated who was so nice, so cute, took me on the best dates, so fun. Like we had fun every single day. We had fun.
We know what it is.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Y'all heard it.
What is it?
Okay.
She
want to go first?
She wasn't tingled. That's
I
why
was
she
just
lied
about
about
to
it.
say.
She lied about, oh, he's cute. No, you don't like him.
No, she probably thought he was cute.
But no, I'm talking about sexual cute.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he'd be look cute. I'm talking about, can he blow my back out cute? She didn't like that. She didn't think that was the case.
Damn.
Man, you know what?
Dang.
I I gotta say this. On this particular one, I don't agree, man. I don't agree, man. I know y'all say this whole tingle on. I'm not hearing that on this one, man.
So what is it then? If it wasn't that he didn't make her tingle, then what do you think it? What do you think?
She's
I think I agree with you, Quay, because she did say he was attractive. She
Right.
did say
Go
she
ahead.
wanted more than. I think she thinks she can get better, and that's what they all do. They all pass up the good guy because it's not toxic field. So she's still thinking she gonna get Tupac. I'm telling you, Tupac messed the game up. I'm telling you, Tupac messed the game up for black women for history because they all want the thug professional. They do. And then by the time they realize, okay, I need to go ahead and they 40 with 2 kids. If most of these ladies were honest, they would say, you know what, I passed up on about 3 or 4 good guys and chose a fool to waste a lot of time with. But they'll never to waste a lot of time with. She looked like she probably was in her 30s, 40s.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And see, that's the difference between a man and a woman. A man who's that age, she's nice, she's attractive, she's a good mother. He gonna go with that one.
Right.
But see, she's still gonna wait because she's still cute. That cute thing that messed him up for a while. Because she's still cute. So she gonna hit that 35 and 40 and she gonna, you know how many women have told me, I wish I would have married that nice guy that I met that was my college sweetheart or the one right after college, but I thought I wanted to be I wanted to do the single life. And then they messed around, with the fool and got pregnant by him. And now you done messed your life up. They just keep it 100.
No, that's real. Yeah, no, that's real right there. I just, listen up. You hit on that, Vince. Because I'm like, I can't tie this one to the whole tingle concept. Because just listening to her, listen, there's stuff that's just not adding up. So she made a point where she said that she was feeling guilty, so she had to tell my man. And it's like, but you done had my man running you on dates, spending money, having fun with my man and all this and all that, but then you want to reduce him down to y'all can be friends. It was like you still extracted from him. So it's like, is you really feeling guilty, or did the extraction that you was doing on my man, did it just run out?
No, she feeling guilty because she was taken from a man she knew she didn't want to be with. That's why she was feeling guilty. She was feeling guilty because she identified him herself as a nice man. She identified him. So basically, she knew that she had a man that was actually what they call a quote unquote good man. She knew it. She knew she had found her one. But she was feeling guilty because she was taking advantage of that nice man, that good man. She was taking advantage of him. She said every date was fun. He was really nice. All of this stuff. I mean, I'm listening to her like, oh, okay, this is what y'all say y'all want. So what's the problem? Where is the issue? What's the problem? Right? You feeling guilty because you know you playing in his face. You know you playing in his face, and he too good of a man for you to really be doing that to. That's why you felt guilty. So it was something that she felt he was lacking, right? I agree with Kenyatta. Yep, she thought she could level up. As nice as he was, and as nice as the dates, as fun as the dates was, there was something about him that she thought she could do better. Now, maybe it wasn't the tingle, but sometimes when girls say he's nice, yeah, I feel like he's nice, meaning there's no edge, or there's no excitement, or there's no adventure about him. There's nothing mysterious about him. What Donovan say, he ain't yell, he ain't get out of character. What Vince say, he wasn't toxic enough. Like I really do think sometimes girls will say they want a nice guy. They'll say that. Then they'll get with the nice guy. He'll be all of the things that they said they wanted, but he ain't got that toxic edge. He ain't, she could trust him. He don't just disappear and ghost her randomly. He don't, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, he's boring.
So, okay. So if that is the case, is it that y'all don't, is it that women don't truly want this particular guy, or is it just that they just don't want him until later?
They don't want him until they've had their fun. Like that, then that guy is the guy. So I'm just saying.
I.e. not tingling.
I think because they don't care about the tingle at that point no more, right? Like in the beginning, like when they're outside, this is what I've just seen from outside looking. When women are outside, they want hard and fast. That's what they want, period. That's what they want.
Oh, come on.
Pause.
But when hard and fast run them up through there, like it always do, because hard and fast definitely gonna run you up and through there, and they're burned out, and they got track marks and skid marks, right? Now they need the nice guy. They need the nice, boring guy to come along because they don't want all the drama anymore. They don't want, they want predictability. They want stability. They want to be able to trust him because basically they got trauma now. They want him to come. And then on top of that, they want him to accept them the way they are. Right? And they want him to do that. And the nice, boring guy, see, he would have accepted you the way you were before because you had all this potential and he knew it. But now you want him, you want him to take you now after you got skid marks and you burned out and you don't have as much to give him. Now you want him to accept you now because he's the nice guy. And he should do that because that's what nice guys do. And the problem is the nice guys are like, nope. Now, because see, now, as nice guys tend to do, they continue to level up. So now he's like, no, I actually don't. Nope, I have more options now.
Hey, Chloe, I hate to use this because it seems like we always use this. They want Russell Wilson after they done have Future. That's the perfect example. And they think they're gonna get Russell Wilson. That's the problem.
Yeah, but
They
I think
want Russell after Future and 50 Cent and Bow Wow and who else she done
Ludacris.
dated that
whoever else.
wasn't nothing like Russell? Who else she done dated that wasn't nothing like Russell?
Yeah, but I think this is, but even tonight, okay, so that's why we talking tonight that black people just don't get it. Why? I mean, why? Come on, ladies. Why y'all think that's gonna work like that? Because let me flip it for a minute. Y'all wouldn't go along with a dude doing that to y'all. So this dude get with y'all and he be, you know what I'm saying, stringing y'all along and y'all over here trying to get married and get a commitment and he just dragging on and years and years and years. Y'all gonna bail out at some point because y'all gonna be like, you know what, I can go do something else out here. He ain't serious, whatever. So it's like, why do y'all think that y'all gonna be able to do that with this dude, especially that this dude that's got some upward trajectory? Because typically these dudes that y'all keep doing this to, these dudes got some upward trajectory. They ain't completely there yet, but they going there, which is why you always want to catch these guys after you get older and after you done been through some things. So I'm like, why do y'all think that these dudes is gonna be okay with you playing in their face like this, knowing that they on an upward trajectory at some point? Like, because you wouldn't want no dude to do you like that.
Because they're nice guys.
But
that's what nice guys are supposed to do. I think the perception is nice guys are boring and corny and desperate and they'll take whatever. I don't know where that perception came from, but I believe for women, that's the perception.
Oh, come on.
He's nice, so he's corny. He can't really get he can't get it like that. So
it used to happen that way. It used to be that way. That's
I'm his
why
best option. I'm his best option. So you know, he'll wait for me, or he'll deal with me. He'll deal with my BS because I'm his best option.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what a lot of them believe. But I also think that stems from women who do tend to overvalue themselves. Especially if, like Vince said, they cute. You know, if they're cute and they do get, dudes hitting on them a lot, or maybe they get a little bit of attention from men, then they think, yeah, I'm his best option. I'm the prize. So he'll wait for me, or he'll, I'll just keep dangling, my poo in his face as a potential reward, and he'll stick around. Even though I have, I'm really waiting for that guy.
Okay. All right. Hold on, Vince. Let me let JR rock real quick because I know you've been quiet. Go ahead, JR. Then we'll come back to Vince. Go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Obviously, as Miss Coco's bodyguard, just to add another layer onto it, let me tell you a story about the dragon and the dog. So basically, she can never control the dragon. Right? That's the toxic dog. So she then moves on to the dog. She finds a nice dog. He will do whatever she wants him to do. Jump, sit down. You don't eat today. I don't treat you well today. I'll treat you well tomorrow. But eventually, she's also going to leave that guy. Eventually. So, the moral of the story is she's just waiting for the dragon to turn into the dog so she can control him and still leave him. That's the choice that she wants.
That's the moral of the story. that's a touching tale. What a heartwarming story.
That's some wild stuff, JR. But I understand what you're saying. Oh man, that's some wild stuff. All right, let me you all good, JR?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm back now.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm back now. I think she felt too guilty about taking advantage of part. I don't even think that was her intent. The reason, just looking at her composure, felt like she went on those dates because she wanted. What she felt guilty about was her not feeling the way she should feel about him, because he checks off all the things in the list. He's a nice guy, he's probably handsome, like she said, he's attractive and all these other things. He had money. So why am I not attracted to him? Well, let me keep going on these dates to see if eventually I do become attracted to him. So I think from our perspective as men, we'll see it as, she's intentionally taking advantage of him. But I see it more so like she's not guilty about. She doesn't feel guilty. I don't think she thinks of it as taking advantage. She was just like, okay, he checks off all the lists, but why can't I just say, okay, going to the next level? So
Oh, come
I see it
on.
from that. And she doesn't even understand why she's not attracted to that. But like Chloe said earlier, it's about something that's that intangible thing. You can have everything picture perfect. You can have all the things checked off on the list, but that doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to pass the test of life or that you're going to make that particular woman be attracted to you. I'm a good guy to a lot of women. That doesn't mean every woman is attracted to me, or even vice versa. I have friends who are female friends who are attractive, but I'm not attracted to them beyond the point of friendship. That just happens sometimes that way. And it might even kill me. Like, damn, I should be attracted to this woman. She's a good woman. She does it, but she's not really my type. And for
Right.
some reason, I don't know how she's not, because on paper, she should be. That edge, whatever that is that makes her tingle, it's not even necessarily that man having to be bad, or he just came out of prison, or he's unpredictable, or he's a mystery. It can just be something that resonates with her. There's sometimes I don't even understand why I am attracted to some woman. I just show up and I say nothing. I walk in the room and they just instantly attracted to me. We haven't even exchanged words. We haven't went on a single date. Sometimes it happens that way. It's just there. Whereas there's the opposite. You have people who are trying to make things work. I'm going to wine and dine this woman. I'm going to show her my worth. I'm going to show who I am. But it was never going to be that way in the first place because she was just not intrinsically attracted to you. Internally, no emotions, no spark is what they call it. And I get it.
Right.
It just is what it is. So I think us shaming her for her not being attracted to him and trying to make something work just as much as that guy was trying to make something work with her, it just didn't work. Now, what would have been criminal is if she said, you know what, I don't feel attraction for this man. And I know how I feel. I don't feel the way I want to feel, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then they end up getting, divorced later on in life. And she's like, well, she didn't want a man that she does want. Even worse. That's much worse than coming to the conclusion
Yeah.
and saving him for wasting his time and her from wasting her time.
Yeah, no, that's real. Yeah, hopefully she ain't. Hopefully she wouldn't take it to that point, because that's really playing with somebody right there. Vince, you want to rock real fast, man? Then I'm gonna put this video on Cole video. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got 2 points. I didn't get that from this particular one because she did say that she was attracted to him. She did say they had good dates, and she said that was her good friend. They could be good friends. What I see, and see, that's the problem that we as Black people, we don't look at marriage and relationship as far as the legacy, as far as the family, as far as what marriage really is. We looking for happiness. We looking for a feeling that can change instead of the things that's going to make your marriage last, which is that
Right.
friendship, which is that him being a nice guy, which is that him being a man of character. But, just like, V-Box said, they want to tingle. And then also I wanted to make a point that Quay said, women will get dragged along. You said that women, yeah, they will. They'll be side chicks. Some of Remy's friends that dealt with men for 10, 11, 12 years, dude done married somebody else, and divorced her. They still in the background saying, well, maybe now I got a shot.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. No, I'm not saying that they technically don't get dragged along, but I don't think that they want to get dragged along, but they will concede to being dragged along. So no, that does happen. So no, I agree with you on that. So yeah, I'm definitely not saying that because I done seen that enough times. All right, what Cole at? She still there? You still there,
Yeah,
Cole?
I'm here.
All right, let me go ahead and kick this video off. This I think this is your video, Cole.
Fellas, I definitely encourage you to eventually figure this thing out because we have so many men out here. Fellas, I definitely encourage you to eventually figure this thing out because we have so many men out here that's lost, don't know what they're doing, don't know what their purpose is in life, and they're projecting and deflecting all their flaws on women. And just like James chapter 1 verse 8, it says a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. And we have so many men that's all over the place, especially when it comes to, dating women. So many of you find something wrong with every category of women, nitpicking and just micro-analyzing and just disqualifying women for all these crazy reasons. And like I say, if you don't want to date a woman that's a single mom, you don't want to be a stepfather, that's your preference. That's your right. That's cool. But then a lot of you will move the goalposts and criticize a woman for, I guess, being independent. She's too masculine. She don't create space for you to feel needed. And I've literally heard men say stuff like, well, what you need a man for? You doing it all. You don't need me. Fellas, do you really realize how bad that sounds? How bad you look? And you got to realize that don't even make sense. Because until further notice in the meantime of a woman being taken off the market, who's going to pay her? How's she going to pay her rent? Who's going to pay her water, lights, gas, everyday cost of living? So to penalize a woman for having a skill set to provide for herself, that is insidious and diabolical to move the goalposts like that.
Man, where Cole at?
I'm right
Cole,
here.
what you trying to get started, Cole?
A conversation about the issue.
So what's up? I know you said that over. So what you hear? Where you going with this? What you thinking?
I mean, I feel like that's part of the issue. I do feel like the goalposts do be moved, and they don't be making sense at a certain point.
What?
Mm.
Oh, Cole, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Cole? I don't.
This video, you gotta dive deep. You gotta tell us what you see in it. What you get out of it. I'm curious.
Yeah, what goalposts be moved, Cole?
Huh?
So let me hear.
The
I'm gonna help.
goalposts for the guy to commit.
Like
Okay.
like what? Sorry, Mr.
No,
Price.
I understand what she's saying. So let me help you out real quick, Cole. So okay. So I listened to the brother in the video. There's some valid points in the video. I think when he talks about, and this is a part of that goalpost piece that I think that we're touching, but when he talks about some of these men projecting their flaws on women, I think some of that is happening. Yeah, but I think there are some dudes out here. Let me just be honest. There's some dudes out here who ain't got it together. They not that dude. Their money ain't right. They don't know. They don't even understand what purpose is. Like, there's some dudes, and he summed it up right. He said there's some dudes out here that's lost, and that is absolutely right. Yeah, but some of those same guys they're projecting those flaws onto some of the ladies out here, and what it manifests into is a whole bunch of excuses as to why they can't move forward in these relationships or make these commitments. So I do agree with him on that. There are some lost dudes out here, and they will move their goalposts to fit whatever direction they're trying to go in because they're not where they need to be or they're not on point. So that is taking place. I think, some folks have described that as some of this, as they would call it, this red pill stuff that's going on out here. That is happening. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you got to be a man and you got to be, let's just call it what it is. You got to be on point. Yeah, you can't be out here, all over the place. You can't be out here with no structure, no guidance, no plan, not knowing what you're trying to do. Because we got to be honest. If you are that guy or moving that way, let me just be honest. A chick that's solid, she not checking for you like that. Yeah, but I preface that by saying a chick that's solid. Yeah, of course, you'd be able to get a random and secure a little random. But I'm talking about a chick that's worth something. She's not going to be checking for you if you're all over the place.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Do you think that you said a chick that's worth something, she's not going to be all over the place? And do you
Well,
think
she's not
that's
going to be checking for you? Yeah, go ahead.
well? And do you think that when men respond in that way to a woman in a sort of passive aggressive, well, what you need me for? Throw their hands up, or they talk about women's independence and their level, I guess, autonomy. Do you think that these men feel threatened by the women who have perhaps a greater purpose than themselves. Maybe they have established careers, of more things that you would think a man would have together, but they see a woman who has it and they don't have it. And so, do you feel like that's like a threat to the man, a challenge to the man, or some form of envy or jealousy involved?
So that is some men. Yes, some men are threatened by that because what it does is it puts a magnifying glass on basically on what they lacking. Yep, and that's why I say that as a man, you got to get yourself there. You got to be on point. Because see, when you're on point, you're moving in purpose. This stuff doesn't phase you. Yeah, a woman coming around that's got some achievements and got some stuff together, that doesn't phase you. Yep, and what it also will do is, you know what I'm saying, it will cause you to call out things. Yeah, when that nonsense comes around you, when you know you handle your business and you move and, you know what I'm saying, you move how you need to, when that nonsense comes around you, and I'm talking about from a female, you're going to call that mess out. Yeah, you're going to call it out. Because I said, you're not threatened by no achievements or whatever she's got going on, but what she definitely not going to do is bring that little, and we all have talked about this before, what she's definitely not going to be able to do is bring that little attitude that comes with those achievements. Yep, and see, that guy who moves correctly, he's going to call that out. Yep, and typically, if she was just a little off when she came at you and basically came to test you and see what she get away with, and you call that mess out, then she actually might straighten out and actually end up being decent, depending on the girl though, because it's very specific to the woman. So that's just my position on it. But let me I'm gonna come back to the panel. Go ahead, Vince.
I think the problem is too, we trying to change people. You know from the second date what this man is dealing with, and that's the problem. I had a friend of mine. She said that she was dating a guy who had a problem with the way she dressed. She was a little more sexier than most. But my thing is, if you knew he had a problem, then why date him? He had a problem with her buying things, certain things. Well, why you got to buy this and why you got to buy that? And then I said, well, what does he do? Oh, well, he trying to get himself together. And he trying to see. You should have cut him off then. If he trying to get himself together, then you shouldn't have dated him. The problem is we dating people, and men do it too. If you meet a chick at the strip club and you go to her house and she got clothes everywhere, she ain't a good housekeeper. You ain't gonna change her. You ain't gonna go in there and say, well, maybe I can give her some structure. Maybe if I can come in, I can tell her what to do and I can do this. No, that's the problem. If he a bum, he a bum. Leave him alone. And I understand if the problem is to check a, excuse my language, Chloe, to check a bitch, you gotta have something to check her with. And most of these guys ain't got nothing to check you with. So y'all get, you get crazy with this. It ain't about, we not intimidated. A man who got us ain't intimidated by no woman. But y'all pick these lesser men. Stop dealing with them. But y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to get the guy who in his mama's basement. Oh, and maybe if I can encourage him a little bit, maybe if I can give him a little. No, leave him in his mama's basement. Because that's where he's been for 40 years. He's not going to get out of his mama's basement. Find you somebody that's got his own home, that got his career, to where you're not intimidated by, where he's not intimidated by you. Guys, if you want a homemaker, find somebody when you go over their house is clean. You go over there, they ain't giving the kids juicy juices and Doritos. She's making a meal. But I see it every day. You get with somebody and you want to change them. And the shit ain't, especially after they 35, I know y'all don't like to hear this, but if a motherfucker ain't got about 35, you ain't gonna get it. Don't waste your time. Ladies, don't waste your time.
Okay. Let me circle back to B-Box, go ahead, then I'm gonna come back to Cole. Go ahead, man.
To go back to like the video, because it's Cole's video. Look, there are guys. I call this guy Uncle Derek Jackson for a reason, because he said some good things, but it went to the wrong place. There are guys. This is a podcaster. It's a famous podcaster. To your point, Mr. Price, where he was talking about, He don't like baby mamas. He don't like baby mamas or this or that. Somehow he's with a white Becky who's a baby mama. How did that happen? So like that. So I'm with that.
I know you talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
oh
yeah, like, And it's like, see, and it's always these guys like, oh, they talk about this or that, but they're sugar daddies. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. But in general, Cole, most men are standing on business, saying like, this is what I want, and a lot of y'all ain't that. So a lot of men ain't moving it. And if you're meeting guys like the podcaster type of men like that, you might want to have, I'm not saying you can co-person, I'm saying women in general, you might want to have some introspection. Because if I keep running into women who are bad people, right, then it might be me. So I don't know. If women complain about men switching up the goalposts or doing this and that, then that guy might just not, that might be your lane too. Liars, scammers, I don't know. So.
Okay, appreciate that. Cole, you want to respond? And Coco, I saw you come off too. Go ahead. Either one of y'all.
I think part of it is that men don't really know what they want.
So you don't think men know what they want?
Some.
The pee-pee goes. Burp, burp, burp.
Oh, I mean, like, what you mean by that?
What you mean by that, Cole?
Exactly what I said. So I think they will initially say, okay, I want this thing if they are even clear. But then when it goes maybe down the line, the list changes. And if it does, my thing is just be honest about it.
Miss Cole, it's as simple as this. I want to be with you, and I don't want you to leave me. That's what men want. I want you, and I don't want you to leave me. It's as simple as that.
I mean, I would say it's simple, but I don't think that's.
No, obviously, I know when I say when I say it's as simple as that, I know that things happen in a relationship, right? Between both parties, we're both not going to be happy. Things are going to go left, things are going to go right. We both know things are going to happen. But like I said, I want you, and I don't want you to leave me. That's what men are asking today. We're not moving the goalposts. And on top of that,
okay,
I want to protect. I want to provide. Obviously, that's the just the basic of it. But you also want a man that's got good morals, good integrity, characteristics, and whatnot, right? Does that make sense? So men understand this, and we're saying it. We know what we want now. Like obviously, everybody's highlighting. Yes, we know that not every man's perfect, and we keep saying it. Men improve. Men keep improving every day. Don't rest because you can't rest. Because someone just highlighted it. So we know exactly what we want. We're not trying to move the goalpost. But I get what you're trying to say in the sense of men are moving the goalpost, wherever it is, right? Because the mess that we're in, the whole 50-50, we're not listening to a man, men being toxic, all of that. But deep down between both parties, we both know what we want. But like I always say, Mr. Price, one party ain't trying to get on board.
No, I feel you. I need Cole to clarify this though. Then I'm gonna come over to Coco. Cole, you gotta clarify this. When you say that the men don't know what they want, are you saying that they don't know what they want overall, or are you saying that it changes or it increases over time?
I think it changes or increases over time, and there's no honesty about it.
But what's wrong with it changing and increasing over time though? Because that would be the same for you.
I said that's fine, but I just also said there's no communication about it. So with them not communicating, it might come out to them having like a behavioral issue, like you're turning up mad for no reason, or you got an attitude about something for no reason, and not communicating what the real issue is. So I expect maybe some requirements or things to change, but just be honest about it.
Okay, but that's okay. So I understand that.
Let me say something quick. I think the issue a lot of times is that for so many of us, we haven't seen men productive, especially for the ladies. Daddies was in and out or not there. So you really don't know how to vet a real man. You listen to what he's saying instead of what he's doing. You only need 60 days to see if a man is about what he's saying, because actions speak louder than words. At your age, I mean, at our age, excuse me, because it's not just for you, but I'm saying you should know what he says he wants within the first couple of days. And then you sit back and you see where's his actions going. That's all you got to do. He ain't really got to say nothing. You look at his actions. And if his actions are, you don't hear from him for a couple of days, he ain't got his job together, he ain't doing this, he ain't doing that, then you cut him off. But y'all don't do that. Y'all like this time, I ain't got nothing else to do, so I let him just hang around. And you don't really talk about the real issues. You don't really talk about where it's going. You don't. Because you're scared you're going to run him off. And so then 6 months in, now your feelings involved, and now you want to try to circle back around. I think the problem is we don't, and I learned this, me and my wife sit up here and watch, and it was shocking to me, like dating, being intentional with dating. I was like, wow, I had never really heard that before. People are not intentional. Do you want to be married or you don't want to be married? That's cut and dry. Marriage or no. Okay, if you want to be married, you only date men that want to be married. You don't date men, oh, well, I think about it, or, well, if I meet the right woman. No. It's that man who finds the wife. That means he's already looking for a wife. It ain't the right woman. He's looking for a wife. I think the problem is y'all need some coaching. You ladies need to get with men that can vet these dudes really early on in your relationship, because we can spot a liar and a fraud. Y'all can't. Y'all let this man play, and not you, Cole. Excuse me. I'm not saying you. Please don't think I'm just saying you. Okay. I'm just saying the vetting process is like, you got to look at actions. Actions mean a lot. If he ain't moving in that direction within 60 days, he not gonna move in 60 days. If things get hot and you don't hear from him a couple of days, he not the one for you. He not serious. Actions speak louder than words on every level.
That's real. No, that's real right there. Coco, what's on you? Go ahead.
I'm gonna piggyback off Donovan's comment about men keeping it simple and women complicated. Real men are intentional. Real women women sway from emotional climates, right? Like, I would agree with that. I think that if you have run into a lot of men who have struggled to communicate with you what their wants or / needs are, I believe that's a problem with that man, right? Like, I think real men don't have a problem communicating what they need or what their expectations are. They don't have a problem with that. As a matter of fact, a man that is intentional is going to want you to know what he expects, because he needs to understand if you can meet those expectations. So he's not going to play with that. And I'm speaking from experience as someone who has dealt with an intentional man. He's going to make sure you know what those expectations are, so that you can either you're going to meet him or you're not. And he's not going to play with you if you can't. If you can't meet them, he understands you can't meet them. That's cool. You're not it. Right? That's what it means to be intentional. I think the problem is we're running across a bunch of men that are not intentional. They don't really, and maybe those men don't know what they want. Maybe they don't know, but it really does depend on who you're dealing with. And if you keep running into men, and I'm speaking to all women, right? If you keep running into that same type of guy, then that is when you do have to kind of take a look at yourself and go, wait, why is it that I keep attracting this particular type of guy, right? Like, because this isn't all men, right? Just like I was making a point last week about it not being all women. And I said last week that there were some men on this platform who, in my opinion, are part of the problem, don't display those leadership qualities. And I was told to name some names. I don't name drop because, one, I'm not giving them 15 minutes on my platform, but also I don't name drop because I'm not messy. But B-Boxer just brought up one tonight. He just brought up one tonight because he has a very big platform. And men follow this guy. And he's been exposed as a fraud. So I just think that, this is what I mean, right? Like, we do have men that aren't being held accountable for the fact that they lack the qualities necessary. And we have no problem calling women to the table. We have no problem calling women to the mat and telling women where they're going wrong. And listen, I'm not saying that we don't need to do that. And I'm not saying that we should stop. We should stop. I think we need to bring attention to it. But we have to talk about the men too. Like, when we say black people just don't get it, we mean black people. We don't mean just black women or just black men. We're both struggling. There's issues across the board. And if we can't have a conversation about what men are doing wrong without being called a biche in the comment section, like, y'all got to get it together. You just proved my point. You just proved my point. Anytime a black man will get in the comment section and call a woman out her name that he doesn't even know, that's wild to me. And then I'm not supposed to get on this platform. I'm not supposed to get on here and point out how men are lacking leadership qualities. You talking about what you're not going to lead. I'm not submitting to that. I'm not submitting to any man who thinks he can get on a platform and disrespect a woman that he doesn't even know. Like, that's crazy. It's just as crazy as a woman getting on this internet and disrespecting a man that she does not know. Black people don't get it. Y'all don't get it. We can't take you seriously. The world cannot take us seriously if this is the way that we behave. Men are not asking us to morph into superhuman beings as women. They are asking us something very simple. Respect me as a person. Respect me as a person. And if you want me to lead you, I'll lead you, but you're going to have to submit to the leadership. That means sometimes we're not going to agree, but at the end of the day, as long as you know for a fact that I have your best interest in mind, then you're going to submit to my authority, period. Black men, women are saying, I need to be able to trust you. And listen, it's not your fault that I grew up without a father in the home. It's not your fault. It's not. Okay. But that did happen to me. And I'm trying to deal with that and learn how to trust men. But it is hard. I have a mark. And I'm trying to get past that. They're saying that because I bad choices. Because I made bad choices. And this is the part that women gotta own. You made poor choices in your youth. Okay? A couple of them baby daddies. Never should have been a thing. Never should have been a thing. Own it. And then if you want a man to come along and actually accept that, baby girl, you got to own it. Own it. And then don't be walking around here trying to act like you God's gift. The truth of the matter is, if you want a man to be able to accept your poor choices, then you're going to have to eat some humble pie. You need a little bit of humility on that thing. Otherwise, why would he even bother? Let's just be for honest. Let's be so for real. This is why we say y'all don't get it. Like, you can't keep saying there's something wrong with the other one. It's something wrong with this one. There's something wrong with that one. There's something wrong with you. You're the drama.
No, that's real right there. Appreciate that right there. Okay. I think we good. So Cole, you good? I know you sent this over trying to start some stuff tonight. You good now?
I wasn't trying to start nothing. I was giving my perspective. And I think Chloe summed it up well. I mean, I feel like we don't get it, and this back and forth, it's tiring, and it's annoying, and it's shameful, and I'm pretty chill on it. Like, I'm tapped out.
I think we also have to understand how we were raised, especially with men too. I think that so many men, especially with men, if you've been raised by a strong woman that took care of everything, you look for that in your wife in unhealthy ways. Like somebody told my son the other day, well, maybe you can find you a woman that can get you together. I said, what you say to my son? He don't need no woman to help him get together. He need to get together by himself. But that's that whole strong woman. I can fix a man. I can change a man. And then also, if you've had a father that was really lackadaisical and not being a man of his word, usually women attract men like their fathers, good or bad. So maybe sometimes we have to look at that and see, well, okay, why do I keep attracting these needy men? These men I got to put together. Is it something that I lacked in my childhood with even with me, I had to come to some of those realizations because my mother was a strong, independent black woman. And I had to really understand some things and I had to get myself together mentally to be the man that I want to be and that I'm trying to be. But we have to understand that it's a reason why you attract the people that you attract. And a lot of it stems from your childhood.
No, that's real right there. And just to sum this up, then I'm gonna come over to you, Joe. Just to sum this up, I think that to your statement, Cole. I think that the intentional men know what they want. Yeah, they're gonna go after that. They're gonna stand on that, and that's gonna be that. Yeah, but you also gonna have some cats who playing. You're gonna have that wrapped up in there as well. So that's where you're gonna see the goalposts moving and the switching up and the changing by the day and all of that. But dudes who are intentional, they live by structure. Yeah, they want stuff a certain way. They want it in a certain order. They want it to play out how they want it to play out. So they're not gonna be playing them games. Yeah, so that's really gonna be the deciding factor. The dude that's intentional and the dude that's not. Yeah, but that's where you're gonna see the wavering going on. Let me let Joe rock real quick, then we can go to this next one. Go ahead, Joe.
Sounds like this video was basically the reverse of the first video, but except for men. Um, which, that's fair. Um, that can be an issue. Um, the first woman talking about, women want this, but they expect this from a man. He has to make money, he has to spend time with me and all this other stuff. And then you have from the woman's perspective what it looks like for her, vice versa. Um, I'm going this direction, but he's going here, but he's not telling me exactly where to go. So it's a lack of leadership, lack of structure, boundaries. It's like women want to be put in boundaries. They want to know what to do and where to go. And the frustration for a woman would be a man who doesn't himself know what to do or where to go. And then she's just kind of aimless along with him. Yeah, so that's a point of frustration for women. So that just has to come down to the type of man that the woman chooses to follow. She finds that he doesn't have the structure and the boundaries in his life, then he can't lead you. He can't give you any boundaries or any structure either. To Vince's point, I agree. A lot of that, some of it, can be just simply who we attract, who we are drawn to. There are millions of people in this world. You don't have to be around the people that we are around, um, even though it may seem like that's the only thing that's in a dating pool. Truth can be a lot harder to swallow, and the fact that we are the ones that's choosing them, and we have to until we deal with whatever traumas, be they come from childhood, previous relationships, or whatever the case may be. Um, we have to deal with that. And sometimes those people that we have in our lives that we don't like about that person, it can be something about them that's a reflection of us that we have to work with before we can move on to someone who has a much healthier mindset. But that means that we have to then become healthy ourselves in order to get with the person who is the equivalent of that. But until we deal with that, it's always going to be a loop, like a treadmill, a hamster wheel that we're going to circle around until we get it, until we overcome whatever traumas that we have, whatever issues that we may face.
Right.
Before we attract the healthy relationship that we idealize in our mind. I want this type of relationship, this fairy tale wedding or situation. But yet you still have some issues. What if you're bringing dirt into her home that she may not have? You're tracking that into, but yet you want that type of woman, but yet you're causing, so you have to clean your own feet first before you walk into someone else's house their internal house, their spiritual house. And that's the way I think it has to be
Yeah.
done.
No, that's real right there, man. I'm glad you put that like that. That made a lot of sense. Did you want to say something, Coco, before I go to this next one?
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to say, to Cole and anyone, any young woman who is in a position where she's in the dating pool and she's been in the dating pool for a while and she's getting frustrated, I would just literally say, perhaps the strategy. I don't believe in one of those women that's saying, God just gonna bring my man, he gonna drop him off on the doorstep. No, this is not what I'm saying. Okay, it's not what I'm saying. However, I will say this. Perhaps it's time for you to stop focusing on finding the man and just focus on preparing yourself to be the version of a woman that is ready. Like if you know you want to be married, you want to, have children with your spouse once you, of course, get married, then maybe you should prepare yourself to be a wife. I don't often see enough women talking about that particular part of it, right? They're talking about the man, finding the right man, and finding the man with the qualities that they want, and finding he having this and he having that, and how are we going to live and all of that. And I'm not saying that stuff isn't important, but what I'm saying is, are you prepared to be a wife? Because if you come across an intentional man, he's going to be looking for you to have those qualities. He's going to know how to spot them. You need to make sure you actually have them. Because what I think sometimes we don't understand is we could be saying, why do I keep running into this type of person? And this is for men and women. We could be saying, why do I keep running into this type of person? Maybe you are attracting the person that fits who you are right now today. And perhaps what you have to do is you have to prepare yourself to be the person that guy that you want, or that girl that you want, to be the person that is attractive to that person, right? The guy that you want, be prepared to be, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yes, they should be intentionally. Exactly. Prepare yourself. Like, prepare yourself to be a wife. It takes time. You know what I'm saying? And listen, if you know there's some things about yourself that you need to change, quit saying, oh, I know I got to do this and I know I got to do that. Because if you're doing that, but you're not actually making those changes, that might be the reason why the kind of man or woman is not approaching you. Because they can see that you need to make those changes too.
Right.
So an intentional man, an intentional woman, they know what they're looking for. They know what they want, and they're not going to waste their time with something that isn't presenting to be that thing. So maybe spend some time stepping away from actively dating and spend that time on getting yourself properly ready. So that person can spot you, because see, you might be camouflaged right now because you're not looking like how you need to present.
Yeah, listen, that's valid. I think, to your point though, Coco, I think a lot of folks don't understand what some of this stuff means. Let's say when they talk about he who finds a wife finds a good thing, like this lady is a wife before they're married. Like, she's representing and moving as a wife with wife characteristics before they are married. So that's what it means when he finds this wife. Well, see, we want to step into that or show that after the fact. Yep, and that's usually when stuff goes wrong. Because see, if you already moving that way because that's just in you, or that's just how you move and operate, that's the attraction. Yep, that's what people see. Yep, so if you already are representing wife qualities, and I'm not just talking about just in actions per se, but if you're already representing wife qualities, that's how a husband-minded man will see you, because that's what he's looking for. So yeah, we just got to remember these things. We should be in position before the action or before the being seen piece, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's not after. We're supposed to be doing this pre being selected. So yeah, we got to keep that in mind. I think that's a piece we're missing. All right, let me throw this other one up. And this really for the fellas right here. So let me throw this up real quick. I'm gonna have to try to mute this song out.
I'll take you to a place you ain't
All right, I'm trying to mute the. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can mute the music
never
out.
been.
Okay. All right. So this video for the fellas right here. So I don't know if y'all are big YouTube folks, but this young lady, they're calling her the lady in the yellow dress. So she is kind of going viral right now on YouTube. Her videos are starting to circulate. So as I understand it, she is some type of doctor. She was at some type of event. Somebody recorded this young lady out here getting her little Tamiya on, doing her little hustle or whatever. And yeah, like I said, she gaining some steam, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I went in the comments on one of these videos, and some of the guys, a lot of the, well, there ain't no some, a lot of the dudes. So it's a lot of guys in the comments. And they saying things like, man, this the natural woman we've been looking for. I've been seeing guys saying, man, she in shape. Man, she moved like a real woman. Man, she looks so feminine. Man, she looks so soft. Man, she's the epitome of class. Like, I've been seeing all these comments. I've been seeing ladies in the comments talking about, man, you know what I'm saying? This is how I'm trying to be. This is how women used to move. We don't move like this anymore. So I've been seeing that type of stuff. So this is my question. And this is really specifically to the men. To the fellas on the panel, to the fellas in the comments. Keep it a buck. What would you do for this lady? What could this lady get from you? What would you do for this lady? How would you treat this lady? Like, fellas are saying that this is the one. Like, this the lady right here. She classy. She ain't out here with no clothes on. She got herself in shape. You know what I'm saying? She ain't all over the place. She know how to move. She know how to do her thing. Like, how are we interacting with this lady? How are we treating this lady? Yeah, but if this is the lady that the fellas are saying that they've been looking for, what does this lady get from men today? Moving how she's moving and carrying herself a certain way. So I want to come to the panel. I'm just curious to see what y'all say. Who's that coming off? I can't see it. Is that JR?
Yeah, I wouldn't cheat.
Okay. Okay. You say you ain't cheating, huh? Did I lose? Oh, okay. He gonna leave it just like that. All right, so I'm coming to everybody else because I just want to hear how would that go? B-Box, I saw you come off. Go ahead, man.
Well, I think Donovan brought up a good point in the comments because I think depending on her age is going to depend on how I react, right? So if she's a certain age and she's still single, I'm going to look at her like, like red flags and alarm bells are going to come off. Like, you 35 and you still looking like that?
I think she married.
Yeah, oh, good. No, good. I'm just saying in general. But, like, yeah, if you run into any woman who fits, she's fit, feminine, friendly, you're going to do generally what it takes at the time, whatever you can do at the time. So, yeah, I mean, I'll say this. For black men, this is what we want. I don't maybe in general, right? Dress nice, not too revealing, but reveal some, right? Smiling, that's what we want. Natural hair, at least of some kind. Like, that's what we want, bro. We don't want BBLs. We don't want you looking like sexy red. We don't want none of that. And I don't know how many times men have to say that. To say, like, this is what we want. We don't want it, like, we just want you to be a normal but attractive person. That's all we want. Like, you could be a doctor. I don't care what you are. Like, just look like that. You could be working at McDonald's, but if you look like that, I'm down. So
okay, go ahead, Vince.
I think there's a fine line between sexy and raunchy. And I think that we've missed that line because there's money to be made in raunchy. That's why porn will never die. I mean, it is what it is. Men are visual. Men like big. We like certain stuff, but that's the old fashioned classy lady. The one that sits at church and has the cover over her knees.
Right.
I mean, she's just classy. She's natural, but people want to do what sell. People want to do what's gonna get the clicks. Sexy Red is the number one selling artist, probably in the her Cardi B, all the fake booties and the nasty girls. We had Megan Thee Stallion at the presidential whatever that was. So as long as it's making money, they're gonna do it. So I mean, I think you're gonna get classy ladies, but as long as big booties and clicks is what's making money, people gonna do it.
Right. Okay. No, I
But
hear
I
that
mean,
right there.
she's cute, but it depends on her attitude to me. I mean, I don't seen a lot of beautiful women. I mean, she's carrying herself classy, but I want is she smiling? Is she nice? I see
Yeah.
attractive women at the gym all the time. They got the worst attitudes.
Yeah, no,
So
that's true. Let's say because I've seen a couple of the videos. I'm coming to you, Joe. I've seen a couple of the videos that she's been in, man. I said she don't come off, what I'm saying, like she's one of those ones with attitude. Like I said, she is since she is married. And then all of the instances that I've seen, I said she's she kind of going viral right now. I don't think she even expected it to happen. But in the instances that I've seen her in, like I said, she does. She carries herself like a nice lady. And I think overall guys, they draw to that. You know what I'm saying? Because I said dudes, I mean, I don't, man, I'm gonna say this, then I'm coming to Joe, man. I think if ladies just understood, man, something that basic, just being nice and friendly, like dudes be dudes be getting weak out here. Like let's keep it a buck. Yeah, because it almost is out of the ordinary now. You know what I'm saying? So it just be simple things. I say y'all should have. I wish I could have screenshotted some of the comments, but it's like dudes was like, what I'm saying, they was going like she was a celebrity, and it's like she looking like, man, I'm just out here trying to do this little charity work, like they was trying to help get some dogs adopted. Like she out here, like I'm trying to do some philanthropy, and it's like dudes was going crazy in the comments. So yeah, it was wild. But let me come over to Joe. Go ahead, Joe. It's on you, man.
Yeah, the boxing events, you nailed it. Really, she's to put it crudely, that is the type of woman that we would commit to. Um, the type of woman we won't cheat on, because women always have that fear of lack of commitment from a man. But something like this, we know, we can feel it, we can see it. It's like, okay, this is the woman I want to keep. So we understand the difference. I don't think a lot of women, they assume that when they show off a lot of skin, like Vince talked about pornography, they or OnlyFans, yeah, you want to get a nut off. But then it's like you wake up in the morning, you be like, who is this person? Like, okay, you don't. That's weird. You were so attracted to me before. Yeah, this doesn't. But then with a woman like this is a woman that you see yourself realistically, taking around your friends and your family, not being embarrassed, not saying, "Oh, this is an ex OnlyFans, this is an ex stripper, this is an ex." No, this is a woman who is a medical doctor, a professional. This is a woman who dances well, who's in shape. Keyword in shape, because we have a lot of women who don't like to be in shape. They just think they can look like Lizzo and be successful, and yeah, in your career perhaps, but with men and the men that you want. So, and she's showing off a lot of things without having to say anything at all. She's dancing, she's in shape, she dresses well, she's attractive, she's smiling. We would assume, right? We're making a lot of assumptions that she has a good personality. It may or may not be true, like Vince said, but that's the assumption. Same thing with the younger version of her, a little bit more risque, which is Cooking with Kyler. She had that same effect on a man. It's that even if you're pretending to be into a man, it's a certain way you present yourself. She's cooking. None of those men are ever going to be cooked for by her, but it's the illusion of such. They're not. Oh, she's probably married to one on the video. but they're never actually going to get that specific woman. But it's the ideal type that we do want. So I think I wish more women like her went viral as much as the Cardi B's and all these other terrible examples, the OnlyFans models, the bad, all those people. But if we had more of a model for women to look up to, who like the old school female singers, Tamia, TLC, like Janet Jackson, if they look up to those women as the type of women to model themselves after, then then they would have a good idea of the type of man, the type of woman that we as men want to marry, not just have a night in the hay and then call it a day. Leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Now I appreciate that right there. Coco, I know you wanted to say anything and all. You good?
I mean, I want to make sure all the men spoke first because you did ask the men. I just have a observation I was gonna say, but I want to make sure the men have answered the question.
Yeah, I think that was everybody. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and this is no dig at your question or any of the men, because I mean it's a valid question. It's a talking point, like video case study is cool, but it just goes to show where we are as a society, that we are now taking videos like this and people, in this case it was a woman that we don't know that well, and these are becoming our goals, hashtag goals. Like, we don't really know anything about this woman, what her personality is like, if she, like, B-Boxer was the only one that had any type of hesitation, like, oh well, wait, is she, it depends on her age, like, because if she's a certain age, like, he kind of had enough hesitancy to say, well, wait, let me get some more information first before I make a judgment call. But unfortunately, that's not happening on social media. Like, we're seeing videos of people that look like they have it together, and as long as they look like they have it together, they become our hashtag goals. They're the pinnacle. In this case, it's just a case study, right? I get it, but I'm also using it as a case study. This is how we behave now. Like, we see women that look like they have it together, and other women are falling at their feet like, oh yeah, I want to be like her. Men are seeing women and saying, yep, she's the prototype. Women are seeing men and they're saying, oh, he looked like he got it so together. He's so together because he wearing a suit and he looks clean and he's saying the right thing, right? And so they're like, that's the man, that's the guy. May this love find me. And you're like, you don't even, nothing. That dude, low key, he brought that suit. Like, you don't even own that. Like, so it's just, unfortunately, this is what our lives have become. And I think that's part of the problem. The topic is Black people just don't get it. And this, to me, is just another example of that. We don't get it. Like, in this case, it's a case study, and I get that. But I'm making a point. Like, we don't get it. This is now our lives. We are fashioning ourselves, our success, our failures, everything. We're measuring them off of what we're seeing projected to us online in a lot of cases. Not everybody, but a lot of us do it, right? Some of us without even realizing we're doing it. We're comparing our lives to other people. We're rating ourselves off of other people. We're picking what we think is the pinnacle or the level or the goals based off of what people are just showing us, right? Like, and I just think that's, that's just another case study. Like, should we look at her and say, man, I agree. Like, she was dressed classy. She wasn't twerking. It's a classy two-step, a hustle that she was doing. She didn't appear like she was fake. Like, she appeared like she had a natural body. And those are all wonderful things, right? But it's interesting because there are other women that are walking around that also have natural bodies, that also, when they put on clothes, they don't look like Sexy Red. They know how to put on a sensible outfit. They know how to wear sensible hair. It's not all different kinds of colors. It's not hanging all the way down to their butt. There are other women that are like that, right? But they're in real life They're outside. You have to go out and touch grass in order to see them and meet them. And unfortunately, because we don't live enough of our lives in real life, we see women like this on the internet, and then they become the prototype. And then this is what goes back to what I was saying last week. Like, we have to kind of be a little bit careful that we don't fall into this thing where we don't realize that the situation is not what we think it is, but because that's what is being shown to us over and over again, because it's on our FYPs, because the algorithm is feeding us that, then we think that that's reality when it's not. It's not. Like, it's just interesting. I thought she looked great. I thought she looked really good. But the funny part about it is, somebody will see her out on the street and it'll be like, she look old. Why she wearing that? Just saying. But on the internet, though, she the prototype.
Can I push back on that?
Go ahead, B-Boss.
Can I push back? Yeah, I think this is kind of an extension of what happened last week. Like, I'm not trying to speak for all the men on the panel, or the men on this, but listen, a woman like that is rare. I'm sorry. In the Black community especially, she's rare. I agree, like, men should go outside, but a lot of men do go outside. We're not seeing women like that. We're just not. What we typically see as Black men. Let's be honest. You know that statue that's in New York City in Manhattan of that Black woman? Yo, Vince, you saw, yeah, Vince, you saw. You know what I'm talking about, right?
The Statue of Liberty?
Not the Statue of Liberty.
He's talking about the woman statue.
Hey. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's what we see. So even if the woman's natural, she's got her own hair, if she looked like that, bruh, like, listen, we want a woman who's fit. Kevin Simmons was straight about that. Like, if you're not fit, like, obviously your age and all that matters. We want you with your own hair in general. We want you smiling in general. All that. Like, we don't typically see that with melanated women. I'm sorry, we just don't. And we got to be honest about that. I'm sorry, we really do. Like, I mean, I might go in the stats because I'm going to piss Coco off. But, like, we just got we just got to be honest with that. Like,
you ain't gonna piss me off.
No, I'm just saying. Like what? So I'll say this: where I live, I do see a lot of Black women who look like that. Right? I live in the DMV. Right? So you're gonna have South California. You're gonna see a decent amount of women, Black, white, whatever, who are gonna look a certain way. Miami, but typically. Nah, bro, you're not seeing that. And that's why Black men on that comment section with cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because you don't see it. And they didn't ask questions. Now, I ask questions because I'm just that guy. I'm like, hey, I want to make sure that my eyes aren't deceiving me. This isn't a mirage that I walk up and then I get my head chopped off. That ain't finna happen to me. So that's me. But in general, a lot of Black men that's what they want. A lot of Black men are fiending for that. And I don't know, man. Like I'm not being cold. I'm not trying to be cold, Mr. Vince. I'm just saying that that's what the average Black woman looks like, and a lot of Black men are saying, "No, thank you, no."
But see, okay, but let's mine this out, right? Let's mine this out. I do agree with you. I can't even dispute it that we do have a I don't know if I should say this word, but I'm going to say it because I can't think of anything else and it feels right. But we do have an epidemic of obesity in our community. It's very real. It is a real problem. So I can't ignore it like it's not a thing, and I can't make it not a thing. But there is different levels of fitness. Not everyone who's fit looks like that woman in the video. I agree. Her body looked great. I can't even say nothing bad about it. But every woman's level of fitness is not going to be exactly hers, right? So while I agree that the statue is not the goal at all, I can also say that I'm not going to make her body my goal. And I don't think that any woman should make her body their goal, right? Because the fitness for you might look a little different than what her body looks like, right? So this might be some of what Cole was saying when she said the goalpost moving, right?
Exactly.
Let's try to take off the defenses and just kind of mind it out a little bit. Is there some truth somewhere in there that at some point women are feeling a little bit like, and men can maybe say this on their end with different things too, but we're talking about women right now. Is there potentially some validity to the fact that men can be moving the goalposts a little bit? Because you'll say you want a fit woman. Okay, that's fair, right? But there are different levels of fit. So if you take a woman like the woman in the yellow dress who looked beautiful and her body was nice, and then you say that's a prototype, right? Then another woman who is trying to work on getting fit might feel like, I'm not gonna look like that though. That's not my body. I'm not, that's not my level of, like, I'm getting fit. Don't get me wrong, I'm working out, I'm changing my eating habits, but I'm not gonna look like that, right? Like, I think that is there some validity to, can that be interpreted by the opposite sex as you move the goalpost? You said you wanted a fit woman. I'm trying to get fit, but I can't look like that. I'm not gonna look like that.
Can I
Right?
say something right quick?
Like, I'm just asking the men to consider that perspective. Could
But
there be some validity there?
But I don't even think it's that, Coco. I think if she was maybe 20 pounds heavier, I just think it's the way she presented herself as a woman. Even if she was a little thicker, even if her hair was short.
But that's not what y'all said.
No. Let me finish, Coco.
Oh,
Let me finish. Because
Yeah,
in
let him
our
get it out.
culture now, the black woman is portrayed as so masculine, so harsh, so even if you're pretty, like a Jasmine Crockett. I don't know if y'all know who Jasmine Crockett is.
Yeah.
She doesn't give you, then they'll say, well, oh, she has to be masculine to be in her position. No, she doesn't. Men are starving for femininity. They're not starving for a dress size 4.
Speak for yourself, Vince.
Okay,
I'm on a little fluff. A little wibble
if
wobble.
you dress size, they like her because she moves. It's like, I hate to say like Angela Bassett, because we have to use famous people because everybody knows them. Tamia. Tamia is not necessarily a 3 or a 4, but she exudes femininity. She's very nice.
And
she's always smiling. I met her, but she's very nice.
She's
very engaging. So it's not necessarily they want, the 4 big box. It's more of just the femininity. Now it's just all about sex and nasty and smacky booty and big booties and booty, and that has become our culture. So men are saying we don't want that anymore. We want femininity. We want soft. We want classy. We want ladies. We don't want hoes. Even though hoes is winning. Hoes is winning.
They're not winning.
And if they want to win, they're
not
win.
winning.
Their hoes is winning.
Hoes is on a squad. They're not winning.
Hoes is winning. These brash ass women, these Jasmine Crockett's, the chick from Howard County, the new president of Florida A&M, these masculine, brash women is winning.
You just don't like Jasmine Crockett because she's a Democrat, bro. Just say that.
I don't like Jasmine Crockett because she's fake.
Man.
Even the great Kamala Harris.
You gotta
She wasn't even feminine, and she's an attractive lady. They had her in 2 big pantsuits. Because they wanted her to look like Barack Obama.
Nah, that's real, man. Y'all about to pop it off. Let me
get some femininity. That's what we want. We want femininity.
Was Cole trying to get in on this? Cole, you trying to say something?
I was. So my question is respectfully, so y'all mentioned these specific examples and y'all started with femininity, but do y'all understand like what certain traits from the man requires to help with that? Like maybe it's not just all her. Like you think she's bringing all of that by herself? It takes
Cole.
what?
A woman's feminine or she's not. A man. What if a man went up to a woman and said, "Hey, I'm not. You don't bring out my masculinity, so I'm gonna be feminine today until you bring that out to me. Bring it out of me." Would you take that? We'd be like, "Hey, I don't want to pay any bills."
I think maybe she's not feminine towards certain people, towards certain men.
No, she's feminine to that white boss.
I'm not gonna bring that. I'm not gonna go there because
she's feminine to. She's feminine to some other groups of people. So why can't she be feminine to the man she wants?
Maybe.
I agree. I agree with that, Vince. It's true.
That's not.
So any woman that's
good in that masculine role, he don't care how she act.
That's true.
As long as you get my money.
Right, it's true. But yeah, if a man was to say, "Oh, my
Do
masculinity,"
you think a woman's gonna be feminine towards you if you're not coming with the proper stance and attitude?
Yes.
Yes. No.
What attitude? Yes. What attitude? My question to Cole, because I'm for real. Let's mind it out. So Cole, what attitude does a man need to present to a woman for her to feel like she can rest in her femininity?
I mean, overall, an understanding of collaboration and understanding. I think that's very basic.
What does that mean exactly, though? Okay. I need you to break it down for me.
Like basically the same attitudes that men are complaining and saying that women have, them having them same attributes and traits as a man. So do you think a female is going to be nice and respectable if you're coming with those same traits that you're saying that you don't like from a woman?
What traits? Like like aggression?
Yes. Or like all just in general. The same
men are
ones
aggressive.
Because men are
a feminine woman won't get aggression from a masculine man. Because a masculine man will respect her femininity.
But y'all but in the same sentence, y'all just said, okay, the girl gonna be feminine no matter what. So which one is it?
No. That's not what I said. I said women who. No, I said women who we want are all women who are feminine are always feminine. If you're not a feminine woman, if it goes off and on, you are not a feminine woman like that. It's like I don't know how to explain it. Like men don't men don't say, hey, I might protect you one day, I might not protect you the next. That's not a conversation men have. It's an insane conversation that a lot of women have with, like, I don't get it. Like, I kind of understand what you're saying, Cole, because like there are men who ain't about 8-ish and you get mad about that. But I, as a masculine man, I don't turn it off even if the woman beside me isn't feminine. That doesn't work. It don't work like that. I don't know. Maybe it's different for other men, but it don't work like that.
So let me clear this up. I think the problem is we have made characteristics, we've made them transactional. Yeah, but characteristics are not supposed to be transactional. So as a woman, femininity is supposed to be a part of your natural makeup. Yeah, but vice versa on the male side, masculinity is supposed to be a part of your natural makeup. So you being masculine, it doesn't have any dependency on a woman. Yeah, but then the same thing goes for a woman. A woman being feminine and moving in feminine energy has no dependence on a man. So a man should not have to bring that out of you, or a man should not have to do anything for you to move in your natural state. You should naturally be like that. But I think what's happened today is we have transactioned a lot of our natural functions because our natural functions are no longer natural. Yeah, see, I think the issue is at its most basic form is we've lost sight of our positions and our purposes. Yeah, so now we put ourselves in these situations where we are looking for somebody to bring something out of us. And like I said, I'm not going to give guys a pass in this situation. Guys do it too. Yep, some guys will wait on a woman to come around before they'll want to step their game up. And see, that's backwards. You should be stepping your game up, and then the woman will come around. And then women do it on the flip side. a woman will be hard, but then she'll say, well, I'll be softer when a guy comes around that's masculine. And that's backwards. You should be soft, which will attract the masculine man to come around. Yep, and see, that's the piece that we miss. We want to transaction things that should be natural to us. Yes, so when it comes to a woman, femininity is not just wearing pink. Yeah, we've dumbed this stuff down to where it's just wearing pink and getting your hair done and polishing your nails and all of this. And that's not what it is. That femininity is really an energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I know we talked about the young lady in the yellow dress in the video. And Coco made some valid points. You know, B-Box made some valid points. Like I said, this is social media, right? So we don't know these people personally and none of that. But I think what was happening was guys were seeing and feeling a certain type of energy coming off of this lady in this video. Yeah, but she's got more videos other than that, where she's actually talking and speaking and interacting with people. And so she actually comes off like a decent lady. Like I said, she's somebody's wife. So she didn't really come off like she's putting on an act, right? But I think dudes are feeling that. Unless the guys naturally attract to that. And the same thing goes for women. Yeah, when a man is moving like a real man, moving with purpose, moving with structure, when you can't run over him, when you can't be playing with him, or if you start playing with him, he checked that mess real fast. Women attract to that. Because see, they know that man has got discipline. They know that man's going to be able to handle himself certain ways when he gets in certain situations. And they also know that they can be safe or feel safe around that man. And let me say this last piece is I think this is the most important. The women will attract to that man because they know at that point that they can let it all go. If they can fall back, he going to handle it. He going to hold it down, and she can just fall back and do her feminine thing and just be a woman and move and everything works. Yeah, but that's the key. Yeah, but we have transactioned so many things that are supposed to be a natural part of us because we've stopped prioritizing those natural parts of us. Essentially, let me put it like this. We sold out. Yeah, we sold out the important pieces of us for this other stuff out here that's not important. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go there. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go there. You know what I'm saying? We have situations where some of our guys, they sold out some of their strengths as being man. They sold it out for lust. Yeah, they sold it out to play with these little chicken heads out here. Yep, on the flip side, some of the ladies, they've sold out their femininity for their careers. They've sold out their femininity for their finances. So now they got them voids. Same with the guys. Now they got them voids. So yeah, we really got to sit down and we got to think about what we have given up or what we have lost to these material things or to these fleeting things that we put priority around, and understand how that stuff is hurting us when it comes to relationships. Go ahead, Coco.
That's good.
Go ahead, Coco, and then come back to Joe.
That femininity is an energy, just like masculinity is an energy. It is an air about a person. It is the way that they dress, the way that they carry themselves, the way that they talk, the way that they treat the people around them. It absolutely is all of those things. And I'm going to say that's obviously why men responded to the video the way that they did. Like you said, KP, I guess they were picking up on something from this woman, right? And I think that's what we need to remember. Femininity, though, I think going back to your point is we have kind of recategorized some of these things and repackaged them, because femininity doesn't necessarily mean that a woman has to be quiet, that she can't have an opinion, that she can't speak up for herself, that she can't work a job and be successful at it. It doesn't mean that she can't, she always has to be seen and never heard. It doesn't mean any of those things. But I think, unfortunately, not the men on this panel, but some men have taken and interpreted femininity as she's quiet, she does what I say, she never has feedback. She never has an opinion. She should never, when I'm talking, she should never have anything to say. She can't speak. And I'm like, that's not femininity. That's what women would classify as I'm oppressed, because I should still be able to have an opinion. I should listen. Submitting to you doesn't mean that I lose who I am as a person. I shouldn't have to lose who I am as a person to submit to you. I should still be able to have thoughts of my own. I should still be able to have opinions of my own. I should still be able to speak, not disrespectfully, because we're not disrespectful. That's not feminine energy. You cannot be disrespectful. Not combative. I'm not talking about being combative. Even if you can disagree with someone respectfully, let them be heard. They allow you to be heard. There's an exchange that can happen that respect is at the forefront. That's how you prove that you're feminine, even though you have an opinion, even though you have your own mind and your own thoughts, right? And I think unfortunately, some of these platforms that I was talking about, they don't allow room for that. They're very, very aggressive and boisterous about how women are supposed to act. And I think that's where it's going left, right? That's what will have somebody calling a woman out just because she's speaking. Like, the truth is, some of y'all don't even want, the minute a woman starts talking, all you hear is wah, 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 wah. That's all y'all hear, because you don't even want to hear a woman speak. You don't even want to hear what she has to say. But how in the world are you a man that can lead when you're not even willing to listen, to understand? How can you make a good judgment call or lead us through a situation if you have no concern for the thoughts of the people that you're leading? None at all. That is not someone who cultivates good leadership. And I think that the frustration for women is, for those men, not all men, but for those men that are acting like that and feeling like that, just like I was talking about the loud, wrong women, those loud, wrong men, unfortunately, I think women, they're seeing those men with those platforms and those microphones and making those videos, and now they think that's all men. They think that's all men. All men are, men are this, men are that, men are this, men are that. And that's just not the case. Just like it's not all women are this, all women are that. But I will say this, ladies, I fought for y'all last week. I fought for y'all real hard. I fought real hard. I got called out my name and everything. And then I get on TikTok. This is the personal event. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me this 1 second. Then I get on TikTok the very next day and I'm like, I'm going to prove these fellas wrong. I'm getting on this. I'm getting on here. And next show, we're going to talk about these men. And I told these men, and I got my fingers going and I'm on TikTok. And every single video I came across, guess what was going on? It was women talking ish about men. Every single one. I was like, I can't find a video of a balanced, stable, respectful woman trying to have a discourse or saying, hey, ladies, this, or saying, guys, in a respectful, mature way. And I was looking for it. And I know there are some, I know there are some out there, okay? But it did strike me that when I went specifically looking for that, I couldn't find it. And then I had to say, this is why men have the opinion that they have. This is why. Now, obviously, I know that there are women out there with platforms and they're clean and they're objective and they are not disrespectful and we know that. But it's just unfortunate that when I went specifically looking for that, it was hard to find. And I just think that tells a story, right? It's too much of that out there. It's too much of it. And so I think, ladies, I think that, I don't know. This is why I say, y'all, sometimes it really does help to get some perspective. and go outside and touch grass. The reason why I said it is because y'all,
Miss
I
Coco.
don't know what else to say. I just think that unfortunately, I feel like social media is really has really done a number on us and is doing a number on us. And I mean, I think this is the sole reason why men unfortunately have this negative outlook on women, and why women have this negative outlook on men.
Yeah, cause
We're contributing to it.
Go ahead,
yeah,
JR. And then Joe, right after you, man. I know Joe wanted to say something too. Go ahead, JR.
yeah, cause obviously like not long ago, I felt like as your bodyguard, you question my integrity, defending women. So
Oh,
I
come on.
I had to, you know, just escape from a role quickly because boy, yeah, it just doesn't make sense, does it, Miss Coco? Like, no, I leave it at that. I leave it at that.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
All right, man. Let me let Joe. Joe, man, go ahead, man. You the last comment. Then we taking the closing, man.
Um, I wanted to briefly address some of Chloe's earlier points um, about us judging a book by its cover, fitness. When it comes to judging people by the cover, right, the appearances of things, that's just the way we're wired. All of us are like that. We can't help it. Um, we're just wired that way. It's a lot harder not to do it. So, of course, we project a lot of things onto her, qualities that may or may not even be true. Oh, she's a good person. She's this and that. Just look at her. Just look at her. Now we know logically that makes no sense, but for whatever reason, emotionally, biologically, we're just designed that way. So, but it's important though, because we all know that a lot of us won't pick up a lot of books unless it had a good title to it or has a good face to it. You just hope that when you open up to read it, that it's a damn good book to follow. And if it's not, it's disappointing. It's like, damn. But are we going to pick up a book that doesn't have a good cover to it, that may have the best reading that you ever could have read in your life? Probably not. It's like a movie trailer. That's what gets into the movie theaters. You just hope it's a good movie when you follow behind it. When it comes to fitness, yeah, she is the prototype. But we're not delusional in thinking that every woman is going to look like her. When I went to a model casting event, I was aware that the woman that I saw was not the typical average woman that I saw. They were the prototypes. That's what models are. But men are going around thinking this is how a woman should look like. These models, that's why they're called models. That's why she's the prototype. What we do want and expect from a woman is for her to meet her fitness, for her to not have to take shortcuts, i.e., BBLs, cosmetic surgery, excessive makeup, to compensate for things that she can do to make herself the most fit that she can be for her, for the man that she attracts. So it's effort as opposed to taking shortcuts or not doing anything at all. So that's what we expect. That's the kind of fitness we're looking for, to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And we can tell if you put in the effort to do that. Because if you don't, then yeah, you're going to be compared to the prototype. Um, oh, and to Cole, she mentioned about femininity. Yeah, everyone already pretty much covered it. The boxer said it's just simply who you are. If it requires me as a man to turn that on in you, and then you turn it off when it doesn't suit you, that's a volatile and unstable environment for us. It's very there's nothing to land on with that. It's just kind of like up in the air. Yeah, she's nice and sweet to me one day, but she's an asshole to the waitress. She's masculine and aggressive with this person, but she's sweet with the boss. That's we just want consistency, the same way that you expect it from us in our masculinity. That's all we want. And I think Quay said it best earlier. He summed it up perfectly. Men sell out their masculinity for lust. Myself having been a perpetrator of that and recognizing that and actively working to fix that. And women sell out their sexuality, their femininity for money, OnlyFans, pornography. So, or even other industry strippers. So we sell ourselves out to the lowest common denominator and expecting a certain result and expecting the woman like the woman in the yellow dress. But again, because we have sold ourselves out, we say this is the type of woman I want, but are you the type of man who would even that she would even look at? A lot of men wouldn't be. You can say that's my prototype, that's who I want or you want, but if you're not the opposite of her, it's going to be a disconnect. Something's going to fall apart. So you can have a pie in the sky, wishing, dreams, and demands all you want to, just like women can. Oh, I want my Russell Wilson. But are you the type of woman that Russell Wilson would go for? And vice versa for men. You know, are you the type of woman that a Beyonce would go for? Are you? And if you can answer that honestly and say, well, no, I'm not, then now you have some place to go from there. You can work on that. But a lot of people are delusional. They just have dreams and delusions. And, you know, they live in these fantasy worlds that they don't have. They don't want the people that they can attract. They don't want that person. But that's exactly who they deserve. I'll leave it at that.
No, that's real right there, man. Appreciate that. All right, man. We're gonna take some closing and we're gonna get on up out of here. I'm gonna hit the top, the bottom, and we gone. Coco, you want to say anything before we get out of here?